gotta say, you guys are saying some profound shit, man.
That's only because we're speaking in English. If you were hear us in French, we're just saying nonsense.
Hey guys, this is Junior Borsier from Atomic Train, and you're listening to All Over the Place, where the fun sanity never ends. Woo!
Hello and welcome back to All Over the Place. As always, I'm your host, Eric Porvoznik. And as always, thanking you out there in All Over the Place land for liking, sharing, subscribing. Keep it up. We are continuing to grow. Every day, more and more people checking out the shows, liking, sharing, subscribing. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And let me bring in my co-hosts, Jim and Marty, to add to the grateful staff here.
Hey. We're staff now, huh? Awesome.
We are a team. The whole team is here. The whole staff is here. Cast of characters, and we've got a couple of guests with us. It's a crowded room this evening, and unfortunately, Kathy not able to join us. But I got some great news from Kathy today. She is going to be recording her second song tomorrow. She's doing vocals on it tomorrow. So awesome. One step closer to getting her on to talk about the music again, and hopefully, down like 2-3 months down the line, we'll be able to get Ken Mary on, and maybe some other guests who played on the song. So fingers crossed on that one. But for now, we have got our north of the border roster continues to grow. We've of course had Rick Hughes on the show. Steve Hill, I got over my back shoulder here. The guys from Atomic Train have been on the show, and I should just say one guy. Junior Borsier was on the show. And now we're going to be welcoming to the show both Clémen and Olivier from the band Chiens Dog. Clémen, Olivier, hello. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, yes.
Thanks a lot. Nice to talk with you guys. Great intro, great radio voice. I'm a big amateur of voice, and this is perfect.
Well, nice. That would be so. Little bit of collegiate training on that one.
He's only been doing it 35 years, and he's already this good.
That's the trick. Okay,
like that.
Keep him going.
And now, as we learned on both times, actually, all three of our previous Quebecois who have been on the show, Rick, Steve, and Junior, I flashed a little bit of my un peu de français langue, and chien dog. Chien means dog for our non-French speaking audience.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys now? Is this for your Anglo and Franco audiences, or just tell us about the name and how your different audiences react to it?
So there's a story about that because me and Clémen, we know each other from high school since a long time ago, and we always did before the band, before we did the music, before we even knew that having a band was an option. We did a lot of travel. We did some road trips, but we've been to other countries as well. And we've been to Costa Rica in 2016 or 17, if I remember correctly. And we were just a couple of guys just having a blast. We were freshly 18 years old. So it was like the first adult trip of our lives, going to another countries. And it was amazing. The nature, the people, just the temperature. And when we were there, we met with another Quebec guy, and we were already trying to have the more stories around the band that we have, and we were trying to build like a lore. And there was this little creek. We were in some kind of island with a creek with some corals and a beautiful sea, and all of these sea creatures and all the biodiversity. And there Clémen was telling a story to that guy that we met. I let you continue, Clémen, because you were the one that were telling this story about.
Yeah, the guy was like upper ass all the time we were traveling. He was there all the time. So I told him that the dogs were going into the water during night to get like colder, and that's why like all their fur, all their things on their body were like all salty. That's why. And this is when he really started to believe that we were lying to him and tricking him a bit. So this is when he let us off and he let us go. So the first idea was to call us les chiens d'eau, the water dogs. It was like the first thing that came to our mind. but then we played a bit with the name, and coming from a place like Vaudreuil-Dorion, it's a place close to, it's like close to the West Island of Montreal, close to Ottawa, a bit close to the States, close to Rigaud. It's in between all of these different cities that are French, English, and we have been we have been facing French and English all the time. And something we say in Quebec sometimes when we get service is we hear a bonjour, hi. So it's like a hello in French and in English. So for us, Chien Dog was like a way to represent this in our own terms. So it's coming from this, and we've got the dog in us. All of these different influences makes us who we are.
Well, as an 80s MTV guy, I'm going to take me back to the band Talk Talk. So a little double on the anglais and français.
I had a little different thought on this. Maybe 5 years ago or 4 years ago, Ferrari came out with the Ferrari. I don't know if it was
just Ferrari, the Ferrari.
The car was called La Ferrari.
Oh, okay.
So it was the Ferrari. And
yeah,
two languages, and Ferrari's pretty cool. So dog, it is.
Yeah, exactly. And in the music scene in Quebec, there's a lot of bands that are called something with an illusion with dogs. Yeah. So there's like Les Chiens de Ruelle, there's Caniche 666, there's Robert Fusil and Les Chiens Fous. There's a lot of and there's also a band called just Les Chiens. So it was like a kind of a little bit of an homage to this kind of culture that we have in Quebec to just mix the dogs and the rock music, because if you think about it, the rock music is a bit like a dog that is barking, because the dog that is barking, the sound is, the sound may seem aggressive, but the dog just want to play, and the dog maybe is just very happy. That's how we are on the stage. It's maybe sometimes it can, to some people it may seem aggressive. All we want to do is just play the music and be heard.
Yeah, it's just an illusion, just a rock and roll.
And Clément, I like what you mentioned, the dogs in the water, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think that Chien de Mer would sound kind of cool. I'm like,
yeah, it would be nice.
Did I get my translation even half right?
That's good. No, it's a good translation. Yeah, Chien de Mer.
Yes.
My.
So it's a set long. Did not falter. Very good.
No,
but to the music, I like you guys got a really good blues jam thing going. Of course, I go back to my brother, my youngest brother's a blues player, and he introduced me to Big Sugar many moons ago. So talk to us about you guys finding your groove with blues rock and just jamming out and creating the songs that you do.
Yeah, it's we get crazy, man. We get creative. We put ourselves in the mood. Me and Olivier, we live together, and we have like a close connection. But also the other members of the band are essential to all of the universe. We're with Antoine Claude and Julien Claude, the two Claude brothers. Antoine is the drummer. He's also a graphic designer. He's the best. He's just a calm presence, just a really mature guy who's like always on the time and always bring me back, because I get a little crazy. I scream and I do all of the fun stuff, but Antoine is always bringing me back. We also have Julien, his brother, who's also a really mature guy. Also really like he's a bassist. He used to be a DJ too, and he does sound engineering. So great experience to add to the band, and these guys are essential to the universe. But yeah, we just bring it on. We like to have fun. Olivier usually starts with like a big hint, like a big something, like the first flames of the fire. Olivier brings it to the table, and then we shoot the shit, and we finish with something that really looks like what we have in mind. We try not to have too many labels. We try not to do like a specific style. We listen to a lot of music. We have a lot of influences. So it's fun to really try to get the song where it needs to go, not where the band's like it's, I don't know if Olivier you can compliment on that. It's
Yeah. Well, the way that we write the music, maybe to circle back with the blues and make maybe in the to complete it with the history of the band. We started with the blues because with us, the way that the blues is, and not to be no demeaning, just it's the simplest, one of the simplest form of taking music in a rock and roll way and just pushing a message through it. And especially when we started back in 2019, we were just starting and just discovering what was jamming with the band. So the way that it started, we were just partying very hard in the chalet in Les Laurentides. And over there was a guitar and a drum and a microphone laying around. So we were just here partying, and we didn't even have a band yet, but all the members were here. And then it starts with a simple blues lick, just a simple blues, and then someone can just join in on the drum. It's not complicated, but that's the best. That's the beautiful thing about this. It's, everybody can know the blues scale, and everybody can just tell a story on the microphone, and it will be a good it will make a song. And that's how it started. It was me playing a little bit of a blues noodling, but then Antoine came and started the shuffle on the drum. All the ingredients were here because Clément was here, and he had a very good joke to tell on the microphone. And it was like a joke, but this guy has a story about a guy meeting his step family and getting shit on by a dog. So it was just very absurd, and that's what I'm telling the outlines of the joke. He could tell us the best version of it, but so that's how we start. We start with wanting to push a message, and then asking ourselves, is there like a simple but beautiful way just to do it? And then afterwards, we grew from that. But at the core, every rock guitarist will tell you the blues is important because, like Jimi Hendrix said, one of my idol guitarists, blues is easy to play, but it's hard to feel. So I think it's important to remind ourselves that the roots are here. The roots is the blues, is the jazz played in the States back then. It's where it grew up. So you have to be able to tell a story with the most simple way you can do it, and the music is here to help us. So that's why we started with the blues, and every member of the band can complement on that. Start with a simple. We have just to trust the simple meanings. That's what we have to remember doing. And the blues would help us with that. And then we have the rock, and then the jazz, and everything that comes with that. Psychedelic stuff, because we like to explore as well.
Yeah.
But it starts with one thing.
That's fantastic. Yeah, what a great story.
Yeah, you guys have an awesome sound, and not just blues, but I'm picking up all kinds of influences, rock, alternative, Western, all kinds of stuff. So obviously it's not easy to pigeonhole something like that. But where would you say kind of your biggest influences, and where you feel like you guys fit in as far as the different genres and styles out there?
Well, most of my influences are Québécois, like Dédé Fortin, Offenbach. So I'll let Olivier go with the influences, because Olivier is actually a bartender at Les Faufounes Électriques. I don't know if you guys heard this legendary bar in Montreal.
I've heard of the legends of Montreal, but I have not taken advantage of any of them. But Marty is soon to be owning a house not too far south from you guys. So I think Marty, you have to take a road trip up there.
Yeah. It's a nightclub, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's a venue bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have two venues at that bar, and there's like Nirvana played here in the 90s, Smashing Pumpkins, Green Day. I think a lot of bands, because it started in 1983 and it's still going on. So it was the 40th anniversary not so long ago, and a lot of very popular band, very cult bands played there before they were known, or before they were big. So that's how it was for me a way to pick up, a lot of different music styles and just incorporate it with the music, because there's two concert venues in this bar. So when I work a show, I can listen to the show and see and do like, wow, this is amazing. I see someone on stage and I try to replicate it and do it into the sound. Like Clément said, to circle back to our influences, a lot of Quebecois bands, they have this. Well, the band that we maybe people will say we resemble the most, Dédé Fortin from Les Colocs, which was a very influential band in the 90s that was just doing that, mixing rock music with world music and a lot of influences. So I think we kind of took on this little inspiration and made the same thing, because more often we're not limiting ourselves with the genre and saying, oh, okay, we have to stay. Because when we started, our first EP was very blues rock, blues punk. And then we were like, okay, we want to do something else. So then we were like, okay, this sounds good. We like the stories of the westerns, like this classic comic book called Lucky Luke, where the guy he's shooting so fast, he's faster than his shadow, and there's like all this story in this little setting about thieves and sheriffs and people just fighting around in this little crazy town. And for us, we like to imagine the town where we grew up like that, because there was always some crazy stories, and putting a bit of like we could just uh, do like a association with the people that we know, with some crazy characters from the good, the bad, and the ugly. So for us, it's like a way to make the music work with what we know and what we want to tell as a story. So yes, we do mix a lot of genres. That's what we did with our first full length album after the first EP. But now we're kind of exploring uh, another genre, another way of telling stories, because we're working on an upcoming album that we are in studio right now, and we're trying to I don't know, marry the rock music with something a little bit more softer, more heartfelt, more ballads, but then also with the heavy sound that we very like. Sometimes it's alternative, sometimes it sounds a bit shoegaze, because we have a lot of friends in the shoegaze community in Montreal. So yeah, we try to mix it all and don't worry about the labels, because I think as a band, sometimes it's just to say, okay, well, that's what we want to play, but can we really play that? Because we're not that kind of band. Sometimes it's fun to just don't care and go crazy, because that's what we like to do.
Well, as we noticed, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations came out today. So if that institution's any indication, rock and roll pulls from so many different things, whether it's metal or hip hop or jazz or pop or like anything. Just put all in a mixer and see what happens.
Hell yeah. That's what rock's all about for me.
I like it that way. Yeah, it's just like, has to be, keep it eclectic. And you mentioned a new album coming up. So I mean, and what I liked on Monument Universel, especially I'm not a big prog guy. However, I like when a band like Yes or Genesis kind of scales it down and going into like a 3 to 5 minute song. And you guys, what I liked about that album, there's so many instances on there where even in a span of 3 to 5 minutes, you guys are mixing up time signatures and just speeding up, slowing down, and just like driving a little bit harder, and then just pulling back and doing a little bit of the jazz exploration. So is that going to continue amongst the ballads? How are you? Talk to us more about how you're going to be constructing the upcoming album and building off of Monument Universel.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of similarities, but we took some inspirations from Monument Universel, from the songs that were like more bit more calm, but with also heavy outros. There's so in maybe talking about contrast in the music, there's less contrast in time signatures and tempo in the songs, but more contrast in the intensity. So sometimes it will start very soft and then we ramp it up. And also there's also we will mix more genres, but not in the way that we think. I don't want to tell it too much information, but it's also in the way of saying the story, which a much less convoluted take and just getting more straight to the point. Because it's like sometimes for us, it's a bit to see what we did and then improve from that. And we were like, okay, this is very cool. Now, how can we do it another way? So it's like, how can we tell one story in a more simple way that it reaches straight to the heart? If Clément, you want to continue on that.
But it's also to be in the service with the music, to be in service of the story. It's we used to be like living crazy stuff in Vaudreuil. My apartment was kind of haunted. Monument Universel is like it's an honor of a commerce I was living on top of that is making rocks for dead people. I don't know, Olivier, with
tombstones.
Tombstones, yes. Excuse my French, but it was just it was a strange place, full of rats, full of noises, and maybe I was getting a little crazy there, but I still believed it was haunted, and it was the music really reflects, like shows our mental state back then, and now we're going into more personal stories. So the where the music is going, like the evolution of the sound is a little less all over the place, but it's more precise, it's more sentimental. A lot of songs are talking about our love life, and it's really it makes us vulnerable. It makes us have to open up. We're young guys, but sometimes we have a hard time talk about emotions, and this new project gives us the opportunity to do that with the music and with the stories we're telling. So it's going a different way a little bit.
Well, I don't know how much I can get behind less all over the place, but I do like love life, a little bit more ballads. You need to keep the ladies happy.
Yeah.
Well, it's to bounce off of that. It's a maybe more of a heartbreak album, because sometimes it's like because as Clément said, we used to just live the crazy shit and the crazy story that we did in our early 20s, just like observing the world. Like from 16 years old to maybe 25 years old, the world was still brand new. Every day was like a new experience. It's like people just seemed crazy, places seemed crazy. And now it's like, okay, so we settle in a other way, and we see just people going on with their baggage and the emotions, and it's music is like a therapy, So you talk about the thing that affects you, and throughout the years, it's always a different thing. So it's like it's a reflection of what we live in, and it's like storytelling. It's always about people, or what you know and what your friends know and what people will live, and it's always about telling the world how you know it. And before that, we used to tell it like we would embellish things, right? Because we're living in a it's a crazy town as we know of, but in the exterior eye, it's just another suburban town similar to 1,000 suburban towns along a highway similar to 1,000 highways that are the same. Even in Canada, even the Midwest, it will be the same thing. But what we will tell about it, it's much more different than what is actually there. We want just to embellish the story and put a little more perspective. We will see it in a different way. So we're telling a bit of the same thing, but now we're going much more straight to the point.
Mm-hmm.
So to borrow from Marty's and Jim's favorite Canadian band, Subdivisions.
I was just going to bring that up. There's another little tiny Canadian band that they evolved over the years and became, from what they started with to something near the end, was completely different, and seems to be a good way to do it. The Beatles did it too. Just
another small band.
That evolution. Even Metallica did it. I mean, it's a
or Fleetwood Mac as well. There was a change of personnel, but it's the same thing. You started as something, and then you end up because you grow with the music, and you cannot stop what the music you do will tell about you. But then it's always an expression of the self. So we have to just let it flow.
And if we want to keep the passion, if we want it to reflect itself into the music, we have to keep on evolving and reinventing ourselves.
I gotta say, you guys are saying some profound shit, man. I'm really impressed.
We have a lot of time to think. You know.
No, that's only because we're speaking in English. If you were hear us in French, we're just saying nonsense. Now we're forcing ourselves.
Hey,
Well, I was just thinking earlier when you did the station ID, everything sounds better with the accent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we love the accent, but I don't even know how it is to talk without the accent. Sometimes I'm trying, but it's kind of like a pride of because in Quebec we have a lot of pride about our culture. We're very defensive about it. That's a bit why we're writing songs in French, because it's more difficult. It's not a big market, but we just love the beautiful language. But we're trying, because in Quebec there's also the the reality of being, like Clément said, close to the border, close to Ontario, just surrounded, like the village in Asterix, surrounded by just a sea of English. But we love all languages equal, and sometimes being in a bilingual state of the Quebec, Canada, and also just working sometimes in the service industry where you have to speak English. Sometimes I will have thoughts in English, even though I'm a francophone. So that's why we're exploring the way as well of doing songs in sometimes something we call Franglish. It's a mix of French and English, like we did in our songs on the Monument Universel, the Rat.
I was going to bring up the Rat. Yes, I was like, that's a crazy frenetic song, and since you bring it up, I mean, just tell us about the evolution of that, and just mixing that all up, and just having that song is a lot of fun to listen to. So talk to us about making it.
Well, again,
Clément can tell the story about the idea behind the song.
Yes, well, again, the idea, the story behind it is pretty crazy. Well, I used to live with my sister, and we're not, now we're friends, but we weren't really compatible. And she used to store at her house like a pet rat from one of her friends, and the pet rat just gone wild and broke free from the cage, and it was all over the apartment. And we were trying to catch the rat, but it was just in the walls. It was on the floor, and we did not really have a good hygienic life. The apartment was a mess. We were really young, and we did not care about anything. So the rat was everywhere. Was it only one rat or two rats? Trying to film the rat, trying to catch the rat. We tried in a lot of different ways, putting food on the ground, putting things that would influence the mental state of the rat, psychedelic things that would make it, that would make us catch the rat easier, like cages, traps, everything. And we saw that the rat took some of the stuff. We put it in the apartment, but we never could catch it. And eventually we found it dead. But this song was a little bit like imagining what the rat is going through, running away from us in the apartment. So it was, a lot of stages in the song, and a lot of different perspective from the rat. And also living in this dirty apartment, I was a little bit becoming the rat, slowly but surely. So it was all about that, this evolution.
So the story, like in the song, it's a bit of like a metaphor, just so like we mentioned the Franglish, the way that French will merge into English. So that was a way of just telling the story about the rat in the apartment. The person don't know where the rat is, but the rat is slowly evolving to being the human, and the human is evolving to be the rat. There's like a switch, and as the transformation is going on, the French becomes more and more English. So historically, the English language in Quebec was the language of like the ruling class of the Anglophone, the bourgeoisie, and the French was a working class. And then the rat at the end of the song wears a suit, has found a job, and the person looking for the rat is on the floor looking for scraps of food. So it was like a way of just imaging the fact that we were looking for the rat. And I remember, because I was more often sleeping in Clément's apartment on the sofa, among other debris and things. and I was just hearing the rat constantly, and the way that's a little token of
That's the trap. The rat.
yeah.
My dad
This is a trophy.
on some wood to forever. The rat is not there anymore, but we still got the trap.
Well, he made quite an impression.
Cue
No,
some
the rat
doors
was, yeah.
and, dead cats, dead rats, dead cats, dead rats.
And the rat, I was hearing the rat going around on the floor on the sofa, just taking little nibs of everything it could find, the toothpaste tube, the pizza left over on the counter, and just the sound, I can still hear it. So it inspired us, the little rhythm of the song, that just, a rat scurrying somewhere and just running away from the human. So this is the tempo just going faster and faster. And for us, it was just a way of just telling that crazy story. But sometimes people are just like, okay, so there was really a rat. That will say, yes, there was a rat, and the rat was going crazy. And the running gag back then, it was like, okay, so we gave the rat some crazy stuff, and the rat has developed a conscience. The rat is not it's not a mere animal or a pet rat turning feral. It's like someone. So we cannot kill the rat. We just have to endure the rat as like the roommate,
Roommate.
Well, as someone who can muddle his way through French, and folks, you can check out that song. You can listen to Monument Universel at both Spotify and Bandcamp. Check it out. That's been going along the ticker, letting people know about that. But I was reading the lyrics to that one, and just the way you were staccatoing through that song, Clément, and I'm feeling the craziness as I'm reading the lyrics, and just it's all melding into one. So yeah, I thank you for sharing that story. That is great. Love it.
It's a good story, I think.
Hopefully there weren't a lot of rat droppings you had to tiptoe around.
Oh, we couldn't. It didn't make a difference because the apartment, we couldn't see the floor anyway. So
Yeah.
To be in one's 20s again.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we all lived in that apartment at one point.
yep.
Mm.
And touring wise, well, what's it look? I mean, of course, there's a whole lot of snow on the ground right now. Back in my old neck of the woods, there, a little south of the border. But when you guys get on the road, what's crowd response been like with you guys, just as you're mixing all these time signatures and just having a good time with the blues rock?
Well, we've been mostly playing in Montreal, mostly playing around where we're from. We're trying to expand. We're trying to go somewhere else to make the chien dog experience available to another type of clientele. So yeah, but mostly for now, it's been trying to on stage reflect this universe, reflect the music. We did a show at Les Faux Électriques where there was a microwave on stage. The show started with like me cooking mac and cheese, and then giving it to one of the people in the crowds. We tried to, in the mise en scène, we try in the way we do to keep it light, to keep it funny, to keep it creative, and to be still to match with the crazy songs and the crazy stories that we have. I like to laugh like a crazy clown sometimes too on stage while Tony plays the drum really hard. We're mixing it up. Right now we're working on the new show. We're trying to make it look really really fun, really wild. So it's a fun process, but we definitely have to share the universe with some new people, with some more diverse crowds. Go out of Montreal a bit more and out of Vaudreuil-Dorion.
Because the furthest away we've been, I think it's Trois-Rivières, which is a city 1 or 2 hours. No, it's 1 hour and a half.
Yeah,
Like 1 or 2 hours drive. So that's the furthest we went, and you were there to just accompany a band that we know that are friends. So we played, and it the response was good. But as those shows go, it's not like a show when we play in our hometown and all our friends are here, because we have to salute our friend and our gang that are following us, and they're very very good fans, very good friends. But when we go a little bit further, it's a bit more difficult to have the people follow us, and we have not we have no story over there, so we go other places. But that's what we have fun making the music discovered by itself for other people. So it's a bit of more of a it's a bit of a, we have to do a good show to introduce people to our universe.
Mm.
You know, it's we would like to go further away in the future because I feel like it's always difficult. It's like taking a gamble. Okay, are we going to drive X amount of hours to go to a place that we don't even know to make a show? And but then we do it for we're very passionate. So for us, it's only a matter of having the opportunities because we will grab these opportunities and go to them. One of our dreams that we have is playing in the United States, playing in Ontario, playing in the further away in Quebec, because we have a lot of cities that are just very far away. But having the opportunity, we would just like to go, to Saguenay, Gaspésie, Côte-Nord, Bécomo, all of the cities that are like 6 hours away.
France too would be nice.
France, yeah, we would like to go to France, but that's what is very how do you say that? It's like funny to think that because we're putting our music in French, we would think that France is more accessible, but we're more likely to go play in the United States than to France because there's the plane that you have to take and the ocean that you have to cross, and we feel more close to Americans than to Frenchmen in the way of cultural. Even though we speak French, it's not only the language; it's also like here we have snow, we have ice hockey, we have a different way. We have we have hamburgers that are better than the one in France. So it's like it's all of these things that make us Americans in the sense that we live in the American continent.
Royale with cheese.
There was an ice hockey game. There was a game recently. That's right. I forgot all about that game.
Yeah, we're trying to forget too. We're also trying to forget the game.
Who ended up winning that? I can't remember.
The Molson industry is in La Basse are a lot happier the last couple of days as people are trying to forget things. But I would like to extend the invitation, at least for the next 2-3 months, while you guys have a little bit of snow. Down here in the Phoenix area, we have got a very large Canadian snowbird population.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come down. It's a little warmer. You've got the built-in Canadians here,
and plenty of good little venues.
Just saying. Danny Zalesko, contra promoter, is a friend of the show. We can maybe make some things happen for you.
Yeah, that would be a dream come true because we're just like it's because we know we started the band a while ago, but it's still the dream, the adolescent dream of having a band and touring and going into a van and a crappy van with even crappier fucking tires and a little bit of gas in the van just to go to another place that we don't know shit and just having a blast and partying, but playing
that's
the
part
music.
of being in a band. That's right.
Yeah. That's what that's what we are passionate about, and that's why we do it.
Well, and you guys, you formed it. Is it 2019? So is it still the same 4-piece?
Yeah.
So tell us about that's 6 years, and in band years, that's a lot. Oh, no, 9. It's 7 years now. 7 years. Yeah, math not my strong suit. Not 7 years. But talk to us about the fraternity that you guys have in evolving the sound.
Well, as Clément said earlier, he was listing all the good qualities of everyone, but I just want to reiterate that we're at first really good friends, and we grew up in the same town. We went to the same high school, so we have the same experiences. We kind of have the same upbringing, so for us, it's easy to just translate our emotions and communicate, and just it's easy to be understood by the people that we work with. So and everyone brings something different and useful to the band. That's for us. It's just like it's a 4-piece, but really we're just one. We're just we're in unity with all the members of the band. If Clément, you want to add up to that?
Yeah, well, it's all of our qualities are like complementing each other, and I think me and Olivier, we're living together. We're just when we have a problem, we can fight it off. Olivier likes to say he's taller than me, but I like to think I'm stronger. But he can beat the shit out of me. But still, it's because of technique. I gotta get there.
Yeah, it's the technique, the problem.
But for the Claude brothers, Tony and Jules, they're just they can match our energy really well, and creatively they just Tony is Antoine is responsible for the like the album covers and like the
visual.
the visual. It's the visual like ideas behind our post on social media and our internet presence. So he's like he's really on the same page as us. Same thing with Julien mixing. He mixed the music for Monument Universel. So it's just really like everybody has like his way of complementing the universe in a unique way. It's just it's a great balance. It's a great way to work. And now with the most recent project, we've been working with Mel Vanditi, who's like the girl behind the realization of the album. So she's really helping us to give us a direction, and it's just bringing like a new voice, bringing a new pair of eyes, like a new vision. It's really fun to work with her.
I like that. And so, and I also like that the folks. This is an organic thing. The guys got a hold of me about coming on the show. Sent us, some of their videos. Marty, Jim, we all checked it. We all liked it. Again, the blue. We're all blues rock guys at heart here, and it's. But for those of in our audience who have not heard the album yet, so what would you give us an EP's worth between your EP and of course the complete album and the Monument Universel? Give our all over the place fans an EP primer, like 3, 4, 5 songs that you guys would want to bring people in to make them Chien Dog fans.
Like our selection of songs.
Yeah, the primer kit.
Okay, so for me, I think the first is Dorion. It's the song on our Monument Universel. It's like a Western sounding song, but it tells about our hometown. And for us, in our songwriting way, we talk a lot about where we come from. So for me, I believe Dorion would be the first song that any new person who want to listen to us, I would make them listen to Dorion. Dorian in English. After that, there's a couple of great songs that we could on the album, but then the EP for me would be the first song, Brian and the Macduff, which is the really, really first song that we ever composed as a band, and the first song that kind of dictated the way that we will do music, about just taking some story about some character or some place that we know of as a band that grew up in the same town, and inventing some metaphors around it and embellishing it so that it will become a piece of folklore that we could just give to our friends, just like, okay, so this guy Brian, and then the Macduff, so we just like make a story about that.
Also, the first time we used English in the song to use like an effect, like a moth attracted to a crazy flame.
That's true.
Yeah, I didn't even know the expression when you first wrote it. I had to look it up online to know what it meant.
Yeah, and then even in Dorion, we have the outro is in English, so it's like there's all of it, little snippets of English that we sprinkle all over the songs. I think it's just because sometimes it's the way we think, it's the way we do things. So I would say, Dorion on the album Monument Universel, Brian et les Macduff on the EP Je ne suis pas un humain. There's another song, maybe.
Yeah. Also, I would like to chip in Chantal. Chantal is a little bit more like pop-ish, a little bit more, it's my mom's favorite song, and it's a bit more light, and in the direction we're going with the next project, it's in line, and it's also like a song about a girl who used to stalk us when we worked in the pataterie in Vaudreuil, in like a place where it's called Patate et Persil, potatoes and Percy, I don't know, and we used to do poutine there and work a lot, and that girl was texting me on Instagram, and she was coming to the restaurant and looking at us, and with Olivier we imagined what it would be like for me to go on a date with her, to have a kind of a relationship with her, to have her in love with me, and me deceiving her and all of that stuff. So it's a nice other little story that complements the universe well.
And for a fourth song, I would add on the album Monument Universel, La Grève des Brigadiers, which I'm not quite sure what it is in English, the translation, but the grève is a strike from workers, and brigadier are the workers that make the children cross from schools.
The rules and
How do you call it?
Crossing guard.
Okay, so crossing guard strike. So we were imagining it if the crossing guard went on strike, and it's a story about when I went to a road trip with Clément. We went to the furthest town we could go by hitchhiking, and we went like 10 hours away on the north coast of Quebec. We went to a small city called Port-Cartier, where Clément had some friends from college. So we went there only for one night just to see the guys drink a beer and play a game of basketball. And then we went immediately we went back. We just did it for the sake of it. And we were hitchhiking, and there was a truck that took us in, and he was doing the whole ride, but he was stopping at Quebec City, and we were in Montreal 3 hours away.
And he was loaded. He was packed. And the truck was full, so he took like the road was. It took us so much time.
And so we were just in the truck cabin shooting the shit, and then he led us in Quebec, or in a suburb of Quebec called Lévis. And I was like, Clément was like, okay, let's call it a night. Let's go to a motel. Let's just just go sleep, and then we'll continue the ride the next day. I was like, no, let's cross the street, go to take another hike, and then go back to Montreal straight away. So I'd convinced Clément, and then we were crossing the street. It was like an overpass. It was night. We were our big backpacks, and then there's a car that I don't know if he was texting or just didn't see me. And we were wearing not no vest jacket, so it was dark. And the car just rammed into me, and he broke my foot in multiple places. So I had to go to an hospital. Luckily, I was still standing, but my foot was fucked up. So we went to an hospital, and then yeah. So I was just like, what the fuck? Then I was like trying to put weight. The foot was cracked. I went to the hospital.
He was pissed. He was mad at the driver, but I was in shock. Like I thought he was dying. So I was I got to the driver, and I told him, hey man, I'm just happy my friend's alive. And he was cursing in the back, tabarnak, the calice, mad after the driver. I was just happy he was alive. And then he was fucking pissed at me because I let the driver go. He was maybe he was drunk, but.
Oh, wait. I was hoping out of this. I'm not sure how litigious a society you guys got up there, but Olivier, I'm hoping that broken foot paid for a few nice guitars or some.
Oh yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think I had like 7,000 for that, or maybe I'm not. Maybe it's 17,000. No, and like how do you call it? 1,700. I don't even remember, but I remember I had some cash. But the thing is, it was a whole summer. But when I arrived at the hospital, it was 10 p.m., right? It was 10 in the night. And the doctor in the emergency room was like, oh, okay, so I'm not sure if we have to operate your foot, but the orthopedic surgeon is not here until 8 a.m., so we just have to make a little cast, and you wait until 8 a.m. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was like in the emergency room. I'd said, Clément, don't stay here, go to the motel, something. And I was staying in the emergency room. I was so much in pain. It was incredible. I've never been in pain like that in my life. But then I heard people that were much more in pain than me in the emergency room, that were very much dying next to me. So that experience for me, it sparked the concept of the album Monument Universel, which is someone dying on an emergency table, and surgeons trying to fix him up. But by doing that, turning him into an immortal robot human. So that's like the kind of so it's for us. I believe for me, when I write songs, I like to put them in some kind of an ensemble, just to like, okay, so this song is part of a bigger picture, even if it's not very evident or it's not in your face. There's like some kind of plot behind. So this song, La Grève des Brigadiers, the Crossing Guard Strike, it's about the moment the accident happened from the protagonist in the album Monument Universel, the same protagonist that is turning into a rat sometime. And when it happens, he's transformed. So it's kind of, for me, the transformation I had, having escaped a very near death experience and just having my foot crushed. But for me, it was a very fortunate experience because the car was going fast enough that just an impact with my foot completely crushed, I think, seven little bones. So I was like always imagining what would it be if the car hit me like full on. And when I was in the emergency room, I was hearing doctors like scurrying around because there was someone that got hit full on, and the person was very much in fighting for their lives, and I was hearing screams and everything. So for me, it put a lot in perspective. The how you can be. How you can see the mortalities in your face, and sometimes it just takes a little bit accident, because when you have never broken a bone before, that was my case before, I was like, what is this, people broken their bones? But in an accident like that on the car, it was like, okay, so people are driving a lot of tons of metal and looking at their phones, and I was just crossing the street, so yeah, that would be La Grève des Brigadiers, another song that's it's like every time we have a crazy experience, good or bad, we like to write songs about it and just go crazy on stage. For us, it's another example. Yeah.
I love story songs. I love you write from what you know. So yep.
Yeah.
And trips to the hospital like that I contend that they'll be a little inspirational. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I had 8 long hours just thinking about shit in life.
Well, I want to thank you, Olivier and Clément, for reaching out to us here on All Over the Place. And folks, make sure you check them out at YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And that's at Chien Dog. That's ChiensDog. And also head over to Spotify. Right? And you guys on beyond Spotify, like Amazon, you're on all the major audio platforms.
Yeah.
And plus Bandcamp, you can go and purchase the album there. And also make sure you check out their website, and that is chiendog.com for any upcoming tour dates. And again, open invitation, come down here and enjoy some warm weather here in Phoenix. And we'll head over to the where all the Canadian flags are flying. They're all over the place down here.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
All right, well, folks, thank you as always for listening, sharing, subscribing here on all over the place. Once again, I want to thank Olivier and Clément from Chien Dog for joining us. Make sure you check them out. And we'll be back really soon here on All Over the Place. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.